Welcome back to the Mountain Morning Show. As promised, Craig Gordon is here on the couch. He is an avalanche forecaster with Utah Avalanche Center. He's going to let us know what is going on, current conditions, get us ready for what is happening outside, and keep us safe. I have to say, the past few weeks of February have been busier than all last winter combined. So this is really good information that we need to have. So thank you for being here.
Yeah, you bet. Good morning. Yeah, what a run. We were just talking about it. Seems like we're getting snow every day, you know. And
every day.
Man, the skiing, the riding, the snowmobiling, just being out in this amazing mountain environment, it has just been a remarkable run, hasn't it?
It really has.
Yeah.
We're loving it.
We
but
are
we want to be
loving it.
safe, and we love that you're here.
Well, thanks for
helping us
having
out.
me. Yeah, it's been a crazy run. You know, it seems like we've been into this midweek pattern. Started last week, and right before Valentine's Day, we had a remarkable storm. If we start queuing up some of the images, I mean, for Valentine's Day, right? Some people got a dozen roses, other people got a dozen inches of snow, you know, so it was just remarkable. Something that we don't deal with here in Park City too much is avalanche control work that affects our highways. But over in Little Cottonwood and Big Cottonwood, you get that much snow that fast. And this is a really remarkable piece of footage here where you get to see avalanches in motion. This is one of the big slide paths above the road in Little Cottonwood Canyon. This thing is just screaming down the mountain. Of course, this is all planned. The road is closed. You've got some of the best snow and avalanche men and women in the world that are performing this very dangerous work, but doing it very safely in the environment that they are so in tune with, a super well-oiled machine. So you can see the just ferocity of this, right? So what does this result in? You know, you look at it from a distance, and we don't often see what that result is other than a big pile of snow. But these are tree snapping, tree bending, tree breaking kinds of avalanches. I mean, you know, in this mountain environment, a tree that big is probably over 100 years old, right? So just think about when you do trigger a slide that you get slammed into baseball bats going 40 or 50 miles an hour. So that's why avalanche avoidance is really the ticket. As we segue into the next series of slides, even near our trailheads, we had a fair amount of snow, and what this leads to is that, yeah, if we're going out for a snowshoe, for a dog walk, a trail run, we want to think about snow that is up above us that can avalanche either naturally or with our additional weight. So this is just in the mid portion of Big Cottonwood Canyon. We've got terrain like this all around Park City. In our foothills, now that we have a mountain snowpack, you add a little bit of wind. We've got these beautiful cornices which are breaking back much further than we might expect. Now, there's a couple still problem zones. Manti Skyline, still seeing avalanches that are breaking to weak snow near the ground, and out in the western Uintas, which is just in our own backyard here to the east, pieces of cornice which now are the size of small school buses are breaking naturally. They're triggering huge slides that are breaking to the ground, 8 to 10 feet deep. And Christine, some of these are a quarter-mile wide, again, leaving in its wake, I mean, these van or bus-sized chunks of snow. That's still the case in the Uintas, which tend to be a little bit sketchier just because of the characteristics of their snowpack. That was last Friday. This is last Sunday. Same type of deal. Piece of cornice rolls down onto the slope, triggers this massive slide. In the next image, we've got a snowmobile for scale. So big slides, right? Things are starting to become a little more comfortable in their own skin. And you know, we talk about oftentimes the result of avalanches and bad news. Well, good news to report. Number one, the pack is getting a little more comfortable in its own skin. This little bit of light, fluffy snow, that isn't going to affect it. In some zones, though, we still have some weak layers near the ground. Those would be upper elevation, steep wind-loaded areas, kind of periphery areas, and also zones that have already slid more than once this year. Now, the good news is, group of athletes last Saturday, they're up on Guardsman's Pass, they're practicing some jumps, some freestyle, big mountain types of things, and Young gentleman triggers a slide, but everybody is prepared. They've got beacons, shovels, probes, and they find their partner very quickly. But if we cue up this footage, you can see he lands. And I mean, it is immediately like getting dragged through or thrown into the, the spin cycle, right? You're going past trees at 20, 30 miles an hour. You don't know which way is up. You don't know which way is down. Fortunately, again, this crew was prepared. Yeah, they did make a mistake by triggering an avalanche, but what they did right was that they had only one person on the slope at a time. They had eyes on their partner. They were prepared for their own self-rescue. So good on you, crew. Keep up the good work. Remember, avalanche avoidance is the ticket. It doesn't mean that we've got to hide under the beds right now. There is great skiing out there, and there's great exit strategies. If the avalanche dragon is on the north half of the compass and there's no avalanche dragon living on the south half of the compass, that's where we'd go. And this week I was able to tag some big terrain, south-facing slopes, had remarkable skiing, and in that kind of terrain, you can get into really big terrain right now. You just got to know when those green light conditions are ready to roll. If we look at the website statewide, still in the Uintas, we've got questionable avalanche danger down in the Manti-LaSalle and the skyline. And then again, out more towards the LaSalle's, things really lit up. This storm was more in the Monticello area, the Abajos, so those zones got just pounded. Here in the central Wasatch, Tri-Canyon area, you're looking at a moderate danger. That probably isn't going to change the next couple of days. And it also looks like we kind of dry out. We've got a stunning weekend on tap. We've got fresh snow. We've got blue skies, warming temperatures. I mean, it is a marketing department's dream right now, right? So as always, things do change in the backcountry, so I encourage your viewers. UtahAvalancheCenter.org is the one-stop shop for all things avalanche. In the interim, go out, get after it, please, people. Be safe, carry your rescue gear, be prepared for your own self-rescue. And remember, it's a long winter, so if things don't feel right at this moment, allow the snowpack a little more time. Time is always the great equalizer when it comes to snow and avalanches.
Trust your gut. That's important.
Yeah, trust your gut, and then all of the amazing resources we have out there. So, there's plenty of information, and again, it's going to be a great weekend.
It really is.
Yeah.
It really is. One question before I let you go.
Go ahead.
I mean, southern Utah's just getting slammed. Bryan's Head has so much snow down there, but it looks like they're not in any kind of avalanche danger right now. Is that true?
Down around the Abajo area, which would kind of sort of be bridging in there, I would expect an elevated avalanche danger. So yeah, just kind of look. We do not have a Bryan Head specific type of forecast, but you can extrapolate from some of the neighboring zones. So great skiing down there as well. It's good to see. I mean, this is like statewide, so it isn't just one little zone that's getting in on all the love. This is love that's being spread statewide.
Well, you must be exhausted. Do you sleep? I mean, this is nonstop.
You get a couple hours of sleep,
hours.
That's summer is for sleep.
Okay. Summer is for sleep. I love it.
Indeed.
Well, thank you so much, Craig. And thanks to Utah Avalanche Center for providing all these great resources to keep us safe.
As always. Love it. And thanks for having me. And we'll look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks for an update.
Absolutely. Sounds good.
All right. Thanks, Kristen.
All right. Thanks again to Craig Gordon, an avalanche forecaster with Utah Avalanche Center. You heard it from him. Trust your gut. Make sure you are prepared. Know before you go. And enjoy the backcountry and everywhere else that you happen to be, but be safe. All right, we have much more coming up after this quick break.